Recently, I've been starting to get into the roguelike and roguelite games, and when I was browsing demos during the Steam Fest, I found this game called Apocalypse Party, which is a 3D top-down action roguelike game, so I thought I would give it a try. Now, right off the bat, before I even played the game, I have to say I noticed that this game uses Cinti models, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it's not really a bad thing to use Cinti models or anything like that, but because I know the Cinti models very well, I mean, I have them, and I played a lot of bad games or talked about asset flips like one of the ones in my recent video that had the worst asset flips on Steam. I was a little worried when I seen that this game used Cinti models, just because recently at least I've been playing and finding a lot of games that use Cinti models that are a bit low effort. So imagine my surprise when I actually downloaded the game, loaded into the game, and it was not only functional, but it was actually fun. Now, as soon as you open and start playing the game, you can see that Apocalypse Party has a ton of characters. Now, not all of them are available or unlockable now since it's not fully released yet, but so far the characters that you can play, like Rogue, Hero, Gladiator, Football Player, Alchemist, each of them have something different. Like Rogue can roll to dodge attacks. The Football Player starts off really slow, but the longer you move forward, it speeds up your movement, and then you can actually get faster movement than normal. So like the Football Player is slower than normal, but then can speed up to be faster than normal. Some of them, like the Hero character, are a bit more bland because the Hero character has increased gun damage, which is a bit more boring compared to some of the other characters, but obviously the increased gun damage is still helpful. Some characters are also locked to melee or guns only, like the Hero can only use guns, and then the Gladiator can only use melee weapons, or mostly medieval weapons, because some weapons are considered melee weapons, like the shield or the throwing knives are technically considered melee weapons, I guess, because you can use them with the Gladiator, but you throw them, so they're like ranged weapons and not melee weapons. So they're a little bit miscategorized. There are also different passives or abilities. I don't know which one, I don't really know what to call them, abilities or passives, because some of them are just like passives because they just increase your damage or increase your speed or something like that, and then others are abilities like Rogue, where you press a button and it does something like roll, and then others are just like increased stats. So they're like passives and abilities, and there's 3 different ones that you can unlock for each character, but not all of them are available in the demo, of course. So there's like 1 unlocked for each character that you can play. Apocalypse Party also has a lot of weapons. Some of them seem to be completely useless, or at least I find them to be useless, like the SMGs, which I picked up because I thought I would like in this game, because there's like a bunch of enemies and I just like SMGs in most games. But for example here, the Tommy gun is an SMG, and normally, you know how Tommy guns go in games, it has a little bit more ammo, it does a little less damage, is usually how a Tommy gun works in games at least. But the Tommy gun in this game does pretty good damage, which is fine, but it only has 13 bullets in the magazine. Like, what are you supposed to do with 13 bullets, and why does a Tommy gun only have 13 bullets? It makes no sense, and it makes no sense why you would use a Tommy gun. I mean, I expected, honestly, when I picked the Tommy gun up, I expected it to have 50 bullets at least. So when there was only 13, it really surprised me, and it just felt kind of useless, especially when you can get like the LMG or something that has 75 bullets and does the same decent damage. So when I was playing the game, I just avoided all SMGs as they just seemed to be completely useless, but the other weapons seemed to be fun, with my personal favorites being the throwing knives and the shield. Every time those popped up, I just wanted to use those, and the shield, you can actually throw like your Captain America, so that's another plus. Oh, and I almost forgot, there's also a water gun that is also fun. I used it once, but I would change the effect on that gun because it looks a little bit weird. It just doesn't look like it's coming out of the gun, so it just, I don't know, something about the water effect coming out of the gun but not really looking like it's coming out of the gun is a bit weird. Apocalypse Party also has a ton of upgrades that you get while leveling up, like a lot of roguelike games. You got elemental upgrades like Shock, Fire, Frost. You got companion upgrades where it spawns something like a frost giant, mini samurais, a turret, and you also got your basic upgrades like increased speed, increased damage. So with all the different upgrades, weapons, and characters, there's a ton of different builds that you can do to experiment and have fun with. Apocalypse Party also has sacred abilities or ultimates, whichever one you want to call them, which you get for defeating bosses, and some of them are super powerful. Now, I literally forgot all the names of them, and the icon also doesn't change depending on which ability you have, so sometimes it's hard to tell which one you have if you forgot. But there is one where you turn into a vampire lord or something like that, and killing enemies regens your health. You also have some wings. There's also one that can summon a black hole that sucks up all the enemies. There's one that shoots balls of frost out rotating around you, which is super powerful because it freezes enemies, does a lot of damage, and for some reason it's really good at taking out bosses. Now, there are some things that need to be fixed, I feel like, before the game comes out. Like, there's an animation bug sometimes. I'm not really sure what causes it, but it seems to happen sometimes. It happened twice during my 3 hours of playing the demo, and the performance also goes way down when there are a lot of enemies, and you use some ability that involves a lot of particle effects, like when you use the ultimate, and it's like that frost circle, whatever you want to call it, and it shoots out a bunch of like frost balls, and those hit the enemies and freeze a bunch of enemies and stuff. The performance drops like crazy. Overall, Apocalypse Party is a fun game, and if you like these types of games, I would keep an eye on it. Now, Apocalypse Party releases November 3rd, 2023, so it's not out yet, and you can't see the price of the game, so who knows how much it will be when it comes out. But as of right now, you can go to the store page and play the demo and check it out for yourself if you want to play it. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment below, tell me what you guys think about Apocalypse Party, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.